Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Aries April 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've seen a number of you for clairvoyant readings and separately for healings as well over the course of the last month from different parts of the world. And if you feel led or drawn to have a clairvoyant reading or healing from me, just check out the information that's in the description box below. But now, as the subscribers know, and it's always great to see the subscribers. Great to see you. You know, I always send you lots of love and energy. I look forward to seeing you each month. Now, as you know, there are no video advertisements in this content, so you get to enjoy the experience uninterrupted by video ads. But now let's take 5 cards, shall we? Because 5 is all we need. They speak volumes to us. This is an old Russian deck, and the imagery on it is, I think it might be quite familiar to some of you in some respects. It has a particular connection with me for some reason. I don't know why it is, but over the years it has proven to be very accurate. So let's get things underway, shall we, and see what there is in store. Firstly, the Ace of Clubs. That's always a good one to have. There is, it's a title card, so I won't worry about the title card. Well, what it means is probably with that title there, you are about to open a new page, open a new book, get things going in your life, Aries. I think you're about to step out and become very, very proactive on things. Just the feeling that I'm coming up from that. Unusual that should come. What's this? There's the 2 of Cups. Splendid. Here is the Emperor. Well, there's really not a better card for you, Aries, than the Emperor, if I may say. But I'm not going to give anything away just yet. We'll see what there is in store, too. There's the 10 of Coins. And finally, what is there here for you for April 2023? There is the 3 of Swords. Marvelous. Well, why don't you come? Sit down here next to me, as is usual. We'll have a good, close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Fascinating, fascinating. Now, I want to look at this 3 of Swords down here. The first thing I'll say about this is in the suit of air. Opposite here is Coins, which is the suit of earth. Earth and air are enemies, and what earth does in this situation with this 3 of Swords, which deals in some respect with a downheartedness, I think, from time to time, is that it weakens it. And this 10 is a very powerful card, but it might be connected with this in some way as well. Let's deal first of it. First of all, with this 3 of Swords really here, and there may be the time when you shed a tear, but remember that the tears that you shed water the gardens of your heart. Now, the astrology here is Saturn in the 2nd decan of Libra, with this card in this position below the 2 of Cups. Now, Saturn is exalted in Libra, and so you might expect really good things. But with this number 3 here, mystically, I have an association with the planet of Saturn as well. So there is a double Saturn in the card's energy, spiritual energy here. Now, Saturn, as you probably know, is about limitations, restrictions. It's about time. It's about form and formality. And the suit of Swords, well, it's the first suit to manifest after the intermingling, or if you like, the mating of the suits of water and fire. And so you can expect with water and fire together to produce something that is, well, turbulent in some respects. So there's an issue here where you could find that you are really quite emotional here, or that there is a denial of emotions going on. Now, Saturn applies its hard lessons on Libra's desire for relationship. So sorrow is a natural event that most people have to go through at some point. And Libra is associated with justice or with adjustment. And so there is a link to sorrow in the universal law of karma, I would suggest here. And there's some cause and effect going on here. Now, I think what we have here is that the card can relate also to a tension-loaded, three-sided relationship and is attempting in some way to explode or destroy it. This situation usually demands clear decisions, and any attempt to avoid making them can cause sorrow and worry. So there may be a period here where there is momentarily, as I say, because that Earth card there of the Ten of Coins is bringing about a weakening of this card, where there are some doubts that you may have, or a lack of clarity, or a sense of heaviness, maybe a degree of worry. But it's important to say something about sorrow, I think, and that is that sorrow and joy are actually two sides of the same coin. In fact, your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and the self-same well from which your laughter rises was so often filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Isn't the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And isn't the guitar that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? Now, when you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that now is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Do you know that when you sit down at your kitchen table with sorrow, remember that in the other room, joy is asleep on the couch and ready to burst in? Now, this energy here is a summons to make clear, unequivocal decisions. Only in this way can the lost balance, that is the Libra aspect, be regained. Now, what decisions are difficult for you to make or face? And remember this, that there could be some sorrow over past hurts, losses, or separation, I'm just thinking now. But do remember this, though, that every problem contains within it its own solution. But you know, this card that I was referring to here has such good energy associated with it that in connection with the Emperor and the Ace of Clubs means that you have got wonderful things in store for you this month. Truly you do. Now let's have a look at this card, shall we? Now this is Mercury ruling the third decan of Virgo, which is the 13th to the 22nd of September. Now Mercury rules Virgo, and it is also exalted in Virgo. Mercury, that flighty, intellectual, diplomatic, bright, brilliant planet. And so you will have good communication skills due to Mercury, and good organizational ability as a result of Virgo. So there is success and abundance with this card. There are inner and outer riches, the ability to make your inner wealth visible and to share it with others. There will be with you at this time a real feeling of abundance and richness, a sense of a prosperity around you. Now, you may have an inheritance or a small lottery win. Certainly there'll be a supportive and tight-knit family. And this is extremely good for people that are in work in a family business that's here. Now, there are riches that are all around you and that touch all levels of your life. Mercury in Virgo represents an overflowing of spiritual, emotional, and physical richness and prosperity around you. Now, these riches must be shared, communicated, like Mercury, if they are to remain valuable, because when hoarded, their energy stagnates and becomes foul. Clinging and grasping arise out of fear, conscious or unconscious, fear of deficiency, and express a poverty mentality. So this energy here can be either high energy or low energy, and it is high where you apply it to good use in the world and applying the skill that you have used to get you to where you are now. Do you know, you have attracted to you everyone who is a part of your life? You have created every situation in your life, and you create your own reality. The wealth in your hands is your own to do with what you like. The responsibility is yours, and you are endlessly wealthy. Now, do you know about your inner wealth, and do you share it generously? Write down on a piece of paper all the qualities which constitute your inner riches, and say this to yourself: I am internally and externally rich and free, and enjoy everything thankfully and in surrender. Now, there is a particularly interesting card here, and the energy associated with it, I think, is this card here of the Emperor for you this month, and it's a central energy for you. Now, I've got to tell you first of all that, well, I call him the son of the morning, the chief among the mighty. This is Mars ruling Aries with the sun exalted. It's all about you for sure, this thing. This is Aries all over it. And you will find at this time that you are something of a pioneer. You want to go off and discover new things. Now, you are going to be seen as a natural leader and initiator. You are going to start things, and there'll be a great degree of creative wisdom with you. You'll have great leadership qualities, and there'll be an urge for action and an adventurousness. Now, I do get the feeling around here of parenthood in particular, and authority, order, structure, the establishment. Now, definitely, you are going to be very ambitious and impatient to get things going. You'll be taking a firm stand, I think, either with yourself or with others. And I do see this as being, getting a feeling of promotion around here, of the increase of levels of power and responsibility for you. In fact, I think that you are going to be primarily concerned with power or control over other people or over yourself. And as I say, you will be a natural leader and organizer. Your willpower and judgment are going to get you through life at this time. And there is success through the application of your discipline. Now, you will be something of a rational thinker. I do think that status is going to be important to you, as is material security and stability. Now, I've got to say this, and I don't mean any disrespect, but you might be quite volatile and fiery. I don't see you as being passive at all. Now, when it comes to power and control, you do know that the qualities of true leadership include humility and submission to the cosmic law, as well as dynamism and power, a deep understanding and a constant consideration of the will of the whole are also necessary, because a ruler with these qualities is filled with a tremendous compassion which will allow him or her to sacrifice the self for the good of the whole. Now, you're going to be very attractive at this period, and people are going to like to have you around, even if you might make the going kind of rough for people that's around, you know. As long as the Emperor's powers are used for transformation and new beginning, their effect is beneficial. But beware of using them to preserve the status quo, because when used to preserve the status quo, that is just how things are. The structure of the Emperor's realm begins to turn to like rock and crumble, and his boldly determined expression becomes frozen, and his authority, once grounded in wisdom, expresses itself as authoritarian domination. Living in fear of change, he attempts to nip any rebellion in the bud, and if he does this, he is then doomed. His own resistance to the flow of the Tao sooner or later will topple his reign. Nevertheless, this is a really good moment for change or for a new beginning, and trust your own energy and move with it. Now, what revitalization does your life need? Are there steps you would like to take towards this? Examine yourself critically, especially in regard to your relations with subordinates and superiors, and say this to yourself: I trust my power, I rule by serving, and I serve by ruling, and I enjoy initiating projects. I value and honor my leadership ability. I am a strong and responsible person. Now, if we look at this Ace of Clubs that's here, I think that what I say is going to be important to you at this period. I think Leo, Virgo, and Cancer are going to be important to you. Now, what we have here is fire, your element. You will also, and this reinforces that Emperor card, have a high, strong energy, an energy which is able to bring change. This is the Lord of the root of the power of fire. What I see here also is that there is a new start coming along, possibly a passionate union here, because your vital life forces are going to be surging. There's definitely a creative spark that's underway here. Now, do you know, if all obstacles are out of the way, renewal in all areas and levels of life takes place. The revitalizing power fills your entire being with a new light. Now, it is important for the free-flowing energies to have a creative outlet, and you can use the energy only if you have a goal towards which you can direct it. Now, the next step, after releasing any blocks, is to find the right framework in which to set this energy to work. This represents the raw energy, but applied wrongly, it can turn to recklessness or someone who is headstrong. So make sure that you don't get carried away with new projects and just rush into something without it being well thought out. It could well have been a period of low energy, and that's now being transformed into high energy. You haven't had the stamina to start things for a while, I don't think, but now that this is here, you do. You know, this card really symbolizes all the fire signs, those of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And the astrological fire signs are going to provide you with their own depth of input. Now, you will get leadership and desire. That's coming here from the Emperor card. But from Leo, you're going to receive character and energy. And from Sagittarius, you'll be obtaining insight and maybe a philosophical outlook on things. Now, I really think that this represents a time in your life when you have a breakthrough moment of insight and you feel inspired and motivated to move your life forward. And a big opportunity is going to be opening up for you. Do you know, you have the possibility, because these aces are very often about potential, of tapping into your hidden, your subconscious potential. And it's a perfect time to draw upon your imagination and make your dreams happen. This is really the time to rewrite your life. There is a deep spiritual desire for self-discovery here for you. And this can apply to somebody who is 66 as much as 26. Now, what attracts you to doing it the most? What are the things that give you the most pleasure? And in what framework could you realize your dreams? You are full of power and energy, so engage fully in discovering where and how you can and want to use it now, is what I'm saying to you. And say this to yourself: I am free to express my energy and power openly. Now, finally, well, there really isn't a better card to complete our reading today than to look at this Two of Cups, which is the Lord of Love. Now, here we go. Interesting, this Russian art, isn't it? Now, this is Venus. Venus in the first decan of Cancer, that 21st of June to the 1st of July. Now, this exemplifies the benefit of you having drawn this card, because Venus is the most receptive of planets and is to do with love, beauty, creativity, relationship. It's also to do with money and business, do you know? And Cancer, well, Cancer is the most nurturing of signs and is about comfort, support, and healing. Well, Venus in Cancer here says to me that there is a receptive love, happy relationships all around you, and deep emotional exchanges. There are close bonds, togetherness. There's harmony here, and a relationship that is strengthening is what I see, and mutual love and respect. Do you know, if you love yourself, you are attractive to others. You need to love yourself first, because it is only by loving yourself, all of you, all the aspects of you, that you then know the value of what it is that you are offering to someone else, and it is only then that you can assess what is being offered to you. But your receptiveness towards yourself prepares you to give yourself totally to someone else. Now, a deep emotional exchange is going to be possible, a giving and receiving of overflowing love. The union occurs, I think, in complete harmony. The cups here are full, and your readiness to receive love makes you attractive. Surrender to yourself, to others, to life itself. Now, there's no doubt that you'll be hearing about marriage here, or people moving in and living with one another. There's definitely close friendships and partnerships here. And there's the ability to, if you're into meditation, I think that there is the real possibility of you accessing universal love in meditation. And there's a love around here that is both special and equal, and you will be able to give and receive love in equal measure. With which persons, in which surroundings can you now share your love? Pay attention to the love that is coming to you now, and remain open, and let it enter you and go deep inside. Now, there is nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. So say this to yourself: I am now ready to let into my life the love relationships which will fulfill me. Well, what a particularly fascinating spread of cards for you. Well done, you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. It really was an interesting reading, and great things are in store for you this month. I found the artwork, did you not, to be quite interesting. It's not the type of thing that you see every day, is it? But anyway, there'll be a different deck for next month. But in the meantime, I want you to remember one thing and one thing only, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.